So let's talk about smart automation. When you hear that term, you probably think of massive hotel chains, right? Big budgets, complex systems. But what we're going to dive into today is how it's actually become a secret weapon for small, unique places. We're talking B&Bs, boutique hotels, even those cool glamping sites. We'll explore how this tech can become your silent partner, freeing you up to focus on what you're really passionate about, creating amazing guest experiences. So let's get into it.
I mean, this question just hits home, doesn't it? If you're in this business, you know this isn't just some abstract idea. It's your life. It is a constant balancing act, and every single day brings a whole new set of things to juggle. And yeah, let's be real about what that reality looks like. It's so much more than a job. It's a lifestyle, isn't it? A constant juggle of a million moving parts, all to make sure that every single guest has that perfect, seamless experience. This list probably feels pretty familiar. You're constantly checking the heat, making sure lights are off in empty rooms, dealing with that late check-in text, and then bam, the boiler decides to give up on a packed Saturday night. It's that nonstop stream of little pressures where automation can actually become your best friend. And here's the kicker. While you're juggling all that chaos behind the scenes, your guests are showing up with expectations shaped by the big guys. They want a room that's already warm, lighting that makes sense, a totally frictionless stay. They just expect it to work. They don't see the juggle. All they see is their vacation. So how in the world do you bridge that gap without a giant budget? Well, what if we stopped thinking about smart automation as some complex, expensive tech and started seeing it as, well, a quiet digital assistant working for you 24/7 in the background? You're really at a fork in the road here. See, one path is those big brand platforms. We're talking huge license fees, crazy complex systems, and they're built for massive hotel chains. But there's another path. It's a tool like Home Assistant. It runs locally, which means you are in complete control. You can start small, add to it step by step, and design it to be absolutely perfect for your unique little spot. Okay, so what does this actually look like day to day? Honestly, the best way to get it is to forget about the tech for a second and just walk through the experience from your guest's point of view. Let's follow their journey. We can really break this whole journey down into 3 key moments. It all starts before your guest even shows up. Then it continues through their actual stay, and finally it wraps things up nice and neat right after they check out. Now, to make this feel real, let's picture a small glamping site. A few cozy cabins or maybe some geodesic domes perched on a beautiful hillside. This is the perfect kind of place to see how these little automations can make a huge difference. It all kicks off before they even pull into the driveway. Your system sees there's a booking, and a few hours before check-in, it starts warming up the cabin. So when your guest finally walks in after a long, tiring trip, they're not hit with a cold, dark space. Nope. They're met with this warm, welcoming glow. That is the first impression you want to make every single time. Okay, so they're in, they're cozy. What's next? Well, during the stay, the goal is just one thing: making comfort completely effortless. The best tech is the tech you don't even notice. Your guests shouldn't have to figure anything out. They should just feel totally taken care of. So picture this. They walk in, and a soft welcome scene turns on. No fumbling around in the dark for a light switch. When it's time for bed, there's one simple good night button that turns everything off. And the whole time, the temperature just stays perfect. It's that kind of intuitive simplicity that makes a guest feel truly looked after. And finally, we get to checkout. The moment the guest leaves, the automation's job changes. This is where it really starts working for you, the owner. This is where you save time, energy, and, let's be honest, money. The second your booking system flags that checkout, the cabin just automatically switches into eco mode. The heat turns way down. Any leftover lights go off. You're saving on your energy bills without lifting a finger. And your team doesn't have to run around checking every single unit. That's one less thing on that never-ending to-do list. Okay, so we've seen the how this all works, but let's take a step back and talk about the why. Because this isn't really about filling your place with a bunch of cool gadgets. It's about something much more fundamental: the human experience for both you and your guests. I think this quote just sums it up perfectly. When you do it right, smart automation isn't the main attraction. It's just a tool, working silently in the background to make your life easier and to create a calmer, more relaxing vibe for the people staying with you. And this right here, this is the real payoff. For your guests, it's about getting rid of those little annoyances like a cold room and replacing them with small, pleasant surprises. For you and your team, it's just less stress. And that creates this amazing cycle, right?
Happier guests leave better reviews, which brings in more guests, and that lets you focus on making the experience even better.
So, all of this naturally leads to the big question. How could this stuff actually work at your place? The best part is you don't have to do everything all at once, not even close. Seriously, you can just start small. Forget about some massive, expensive overhaul. Just automating the heating and maybe a couple of key lights in one single cabin or room can make an immediate, noticeable difference, both for your guest and for your own sanity.
And I guess that's a thought I'll leave you with. It's not about trying to become some high-tech resort. It's about using simple, smart tools to nail those little details. Because we all know it's those thoughtful little touches that turn a good stay into a great one. And that's what earns you that next 5-star review.